The Pitbull Grand Champion, in dog fighting, the famous Croatian. Croatian was born from a litter of 8 puppies. It is the result of a planned creation, by my partner, AC. The Croatian's grandfather was famous champion Vili II, a 4-time combat winner. The Croatian's grandmother is the killer female, Rika. She is a bitch, who is once a combat winner, and she has a defeat, against a famous European assassin. She lost the fight, but she lost proving her gameness. Vili III was a dog that loved to fight, but didn't have much mouth to compete. The Vili III was crossed with the female Tonka. Tonka is the daughter of Clyde, a dog, who is twice the grand champion May Day, crossed with the female of Senor Ramos, who is basically an old blood of Carver. All 8 puppies were black, but Croatian was my choice of the litter. I named him after his lineage origins. He dominated all of his brothers, and was open to fighting from a young age. At 11 months old, I put him on a test, for the first time, against a direct son of the grand champion, Macho Buck. The dog I tested him was very intense, and 3 kilos heavier, than the Croatian. The Croatian, dominated with blows to the head, and swinging, proved to be a very smart, intelligent dog, an artist pitbull. The second test match, from the Croatian, was against a bloodline dog, Jeep, Red Boy, Rascal, Frisco with a touch of blood, from the Ice Day lineage on the underside. This time it was about 12 minutes of fighting, until the Croatian dominated the fight. He controlled it by biting the dog's head, until he reached the 9-minute mark. After that, he went to punish the opponent's rear end. And from this point on, the Croatian had absolute control of the fight. The opponent's owner removed the dog a few minutes later. Croatian's third trial of fight. It turned out to be his gameness test. It was against an excellent dog. The opponent is the son of Southern Kennels dog, Bam Bam Poor, crossed with a daughter of the Southern Kennels dog, Clyde. That is, a purebred dog, from the May Day dog. His name is Didi. He was known for dominating his opponents by the neck. And he did it against Croatia for 15 minutes. After doing a scratch, the Croatian started to find his fighting style, and started biting Didi's head and rear. The Croatian kept working his bite, until the 49-minute mark. And at the 52nd minute, at the scratch, Didi didn't return to the fight. The Croatian was still dying to fight again. CROATA's first professional fight was scheduled against a tough-mouthed dog. His name is Blackie, from the Boyles bloodline, with Fargo. He is a one-time combat victor. The Croatian's chances of winning were low. He had trained, for just 4 weeks. And the Croatian's correct combat weight was 17.5 kilos, and I had to drop the weight, to 17 kilos, for the fight to happen. In other words, the Croatian was half a kilo, below his body weight. I traveled to take the Croatian, remembering that the Croatian trained in different weather conditions. Anyway, CROATA, and Blackie, were at 17 kilos. Blackie was big compared to our thinner dog. During the fight the Croatian controlled Blackie, with a bite on his ear and head, running around the ring. Occasionally, the Blackie would try to bite the CROATA's rear, but the CROATA was defending and keeping him at bay. At 43 minutes the Croatian was causing damage to the throat, and in the rear of Blackie. 51 minutes into the fight, Blackie started to cry. The Croatian was killing this dog. Blackie's owner removed his dog. And Blackie didn't go back to scratch, courtesy of it. The Croatian was uncontrollable in the corner, ready to show his scratch, as a courtesy, but the referee or the other side wouldn't let us go, our dog. The second professional fight, Croatian, was scheduled after 2 months, the first. The fight was in the weight class of 17.5 kilos. Against a dog, who was becoming known for being a killing machine. His name was Colorado's Red Fargo. He is the son of Colorado Kennel's dog, CROATA, one-time combat winner, and 1 defeat, proving Gameness. Crossed with a female, from the bloodline, of Lady Rommel. The Croatian looked small compared to the Red Fargo dog. Both were overweight. On the day of the fight, I noticed that the Croatian's gums were very pale. And he was slow, but I decided to do the fight anyway. In the first 10 minutes, the Croatian was biting the air, while the Red Fargo was doing a lot of damage to the Croatian's face. The Red Fargo bit the Croatian's face so hard, it opened a hole in the Croatian's left eye. At that time, I thought the Croatian had just lost his eye. He was bleeding profusely. The Croatian stopped fighting, trying to catch his breath. I would like to be explicit about this issue. The Croatian is so smart that he adapts himself to any style of fighter. He does whatever it takes to overcome anything in front of him. He's a winner. At 30 minutes, the Croatian was biting hard on the rear of Red Fargo. And Red Fargo, it was mumbling. At 37 minutes, the dogs were taken to the corner. The Croatian made an impressive scratch, demonstrating that he would fight for as long as it took. Red Fargo did not return to the fight in the scratch. And Croatian ran to his scratch, courtesy. He knocked the dog and the handler into the corner of the ring. For his champion title, after 3 months of the second fight, I scheduled him to fight the dog Sutnami, from the Ranger Kennel. Sutnami is the grandson of the famous hard-mouthed dog Lionheart. Lionheart is twice a combat winner, with 1 defeat, proving Gameness. The mother of the dog Sutnami is a female, who is twice the blood of the great champion, the dog Mayday. Both dogs were weighing 40 pounds. Sutnami is a very intense dog. He found the Croatian in the center of the ring. He held the Croatian's mouth during the 5 minutes of the fight. Then the Sutnami went to try to get the rear of the Croatian. The Croatian, defending himself by keeping him away, using his body, and the corners of the ring, artistically. Then, the Croatian began to bite the Sutnami's shoulder, and showed a destructive mouth. Without either of them pausing the fight, or stop fighting, at 34 minutes, the owner of Sutnami caught the dog. He made a beautiful return to fight in his courtesy scratch, showing what a true hunting dog is. The Croatian did a quick scratch lap, courtesy of him, winning the Best in Show trophy that night. He became a champion in just 6 months. In his 4th fight, I scored against Perigosa's dog, Tintin. He is the son of the American kennel dog champion Luigi. Luigi is the brother of the famous dog, great champion, Lucane. Tintin's brothers are the dog Ladrillon, who is a 1-time combat winner, the dog Chato, who is a 2-time combat winner, and many others. For this fight, we drove 28 hours before entering the ring. The Croatian champion demonstrated his skill, natural air, and gameness. And it was important to prevail against a tough-faced dog like Tintin. At the hour and 28-minute mark, Tintin is pulled out by his owner. And he made a comeback, in the scratch, which went directly to the Croatian's shoulder. It won the title of Gameness in show. The Croatian champion completed his fourth victory with a quick courtesy scratch. And as always, he showed everyone that he is a true artist. After this impressive victory, he was tagged to fight again, for his fifth fight. Some fellow dogmen offered to import a dog, once a winner, from the USA, to compete against the Croatian champion. But we received very bad news, saying that they decided to pay the loss, and the show was cancelled. CROATA again was open for new adversaries to try to conquer its great championship. We had to increase his weight by 1 kilo. To fight against a difficult opponent, a face biter, twice BIS winner. This, in the beginning of 2010. For his fifth fight, and to win the title of Grand Champion. I tried to find the best dog which was in the dogfight. My good friend GNG had the Canil dog. Once, we tested him, and he proved to be an unbeatable dog. I always thought that the dog Canil could defeat the Croatian. The GNG marked the dog Canil against the dog of the Empire Kennels, the Iron Black. A dog that is known for being a tough, biting dog right off the bat. GNG and I were very confident that Canil would beat Iron Black. But that wasn't the case. Iron Black controlled Canil for over an hour. And he beat him in our own backyard. He won best of show that night. Canil proved to be a Gameness dog that day. After that, I knew Iron Black, who was a two-time combat winner, was the dog to beat and the best around. It was so difficult to hook Croatian against Iron Black. Some of my closest friends said I was crazy, giving up the weight advantage. Especially against this dog, who was a face biter, very tough. But finally, these were the terms of the contract. We would do the fight in our country, but I had to put up a kilo, the Croatian weight. Anyway, on the day of the fight, the Croatian wasn't the way I wanted. But the fight was open. These two warriors faced each other in a very tight dispute, trying to beat each other. This time Iron Black was against another good weightlifter like CROATA. Either way, Pharaoh Negro had the upper hand, and by the 55-minute mark, the Croatian was losing the show. My good friend and SK veteran told me CROATA was going into shock. And that I should consider answering, but deep down, I knew the Croatian would find his way to victory. No matter what, whenever he could, he would get up, he would shake violently, and he would start getting into the back and front of Iron Black more often. Around 90 minutes into the fight, he turned the game around. He showed everyone what he was made of, pure heart and determination. He moved up the weight, to win at the 1 hour, 48-minute mark. And so he became, the legend of Ecuador, the Croatian Grand Champion, once again. He's now retired, and he's just going to be used as a study, and we're going to give him the best life, the life he deserves. Great Croatian champion, now he is our pet. He will live with our family, and he is very friendly with people, and with children. I have life to thank, because we feel that we were very lucky, that we had the chance, to have this once-life dog. The Bass Tramp Red Boy story will appear. My name is Rodolpho Luiz, and I thank you all.